Okay, let's talk about it. Angel Reese just resigned. Yes, resigned from the Chicago Sky. And no, you're not dreaming. It's not a prank. It's not a late April Fool's joke. It's real. The self-proclaimed Bayou Barbie, the double-double queen, the heart and headline of the Sky, walked away. And fans? They're spiraling. Because love her or hate her, Angel Reese was the Chicago Sky. But here's the uncomfortable truth.
If you're here for the real story and not the filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe.
No one wants to say out loud. This move was selfish, short-sighted, and ultimately a betrayal of what she claimed to stand for. Let's break it down. This is a player who begged for the spotlight, who stepped into the WNBA not just with confidence, but with a full marketing campaign, who told the world she was built for the pressure, that she wanted the smoke, that she was ready to shake up the league, break records, prove doubters wrong. And she did to an extent. The rebounds? Unreal, historic, consistent. Angel wasn't just grabbing boards. She was eating them alive. Night after night, game after game, double-doubles like clockwork. She turned rebounding into an art form. But here's the thing. This league, it's not about individual stat sheets. This isn't tennis. It's not golf. You're not out there swinging solo and hoping the crowd claps. This is basketball, a team sport. And if all those rebounds don't lead to wins, don't shift momentum, don't build chemistry, or push your team forward, then what are we even celebrating? Look, no one's denying Angel's work ethic. The hustle was real. You could see in the way she fought for every board, dove for loose balls, put her body on the line. That part? Respect. But what makes this whole situation so frustrating, so disappointing, is that the moment things got hard, she bailed. And let's call it what it is. She quit. No matter how you dress it up. No matter what statement her team releases. No matter how many vague tweets she posts about protecting peace or moving in silence, she resigned. In the middle of a messy season. In the heat of criticism. With fans still showing up in her jersey, hoping for a spark. And that hurts. Because if you're going to brand yourself as the face of resilience, as someone who thrives on being doubted, hated, targeted, then walking away mid-season is the last thing you can afford to do. This wasn't about injury. It wasn't about needing rest or a rehab stint. It wasn't even about scandal, at least not yet. This was about pressure. And here's the plot twist. Angel Reese, who made an entire career off proving people wrong, just handed her critics the biggest win of all. Because you already know what the talking heads are saying. She was never built for the pros. She's all flash, no substance. She only shines when the cameras are on. She can't lead a losing team. And now, it's a lot harder to argue with them. Because quitting doesn't silence your haters. It confirms them. Let's talk about loyalty. What about the fans? The young girls who looked up to her? The ones who packed arenas, bought her merch, and watched a struggling Sky team because Angel Reese was on the court? They didn't get a heads up. They didn't get goodbye. They just woke up to news that their star had resigned. Just like that. What about her teammates? The players grinding through a tough season, fighting for respect, trying to find rhythm. And now, poof. One of their pillars is gone. What message does that send? That when things get uncomfortable, you bounce. That leadership is optional. That the game is only worth playing when you're winning. That's not the mentality of a star. That's not the attitude of a franchise player. That's not the energy you bring into a locker room that's already wounded. And the worst part? It's not like Angel was being dragged down by a team that didn't believe in her. She was the plan, the centerpiece, the engine. Chicago Sky poured everything into her development. The marketing, the minutes, the trust. She was given the green light. And instead of growing into that role, she dropped the ball. Let's not pretend this all started with her resignation either. The signs were there. The on-court frustration, the viral clapbacks, the tension with the media, the cryptic comments, and of course, that brutal moment on live TV, the broadcaster roasting her rebounds mid-game, saying they meant nothing because her team kept losing. Say what you will about the delivery, but the message had teeth. Because basketball isn't just about effort. It's about impact. And if your individual brilliance can't lift your team, can't inspire change, can't translate into wins or culture shifts, then what's it for? Rebounds without results are just numbers. And in a league this competitive, numbers don't build legacies. Wins do. So here's the part that stings the most. She had a chance to change the narrative. She could have stayed. She could have taken the criticism and used it as fuel. She could have looked straight into that camera and said, "Yeah, we're losing, but I'm not going anywhere." That would have been iconic. That would have been leadership. That would have been legendary. Instead, she dipped. And whether it's permanent or temporary, the damage is done. Because now, the narrative isn't about her rebounds. It's not about her energy, her hustle, or her journey from LSU to the W. Now the headline is simple. Angel Reese quit when it counted. Let that sink in. She had the talent, the audience, the platform, and she gave it all away with one decision. Maybe she's got something bigger planned. Maybe she's protecting herself, preserving energy, making a business move. If that's the case, fine. But don't expect fans to understand. Don't expect loyalty to stay locked in. Because when you walk away from a fight halfway through, you don't get to act like you finished it. You get remembered for leaving it. So where does this leave us? The Sky are still reeling. The fans are furious. The league is stunned. And Angel Reese? She's got a choice. She can either let this moment define her, or she can come back swinging, admit the misstep, and earn her respect all over again. Because now, she has to. Sound off in the comments. Did Angel Reese just throw away her rookie legacy? Is this a betrayal, or do you see this as a power move? Let's talk. And hit that subscribe button, because in this league, loyalty is tested and legacies are made when the pressure hits. You really want to go all the way in on this? Fine. Because Angel Reese's resignation isn't just a spicy headline. It's a full-blown identity crisis for the Chicago Sky, a PR disaster for the league, and a massive wake-up call for every player who thought personal brand could outshine team responsibility. We are witnessing the collapse of a narrative in real time. And no one, not the fans, not the coaches, not even Reese herself, seems ready for what comes next. Let's start with the timing, because that's where this whole thing veers from confusing to almost cruel. The Sky are deep in the trenches of a brutal season. They've been losing ugly. Their locker room is fraying at the edges. Chemistry? Missing. Game plans? Questionable. And Angel Reese? She's been the one consistent thing. The one player showing up with effort, night after night, dragging her team toward relevance with nothing but rebounds and grit. But when it came time to lead, she left. In the middle of the fight. That's not just bad optics. That's abandonment. Let's get real. There's a difference between knowing your worth and walking away when it counts most. There's a difference between protecting your peace and bailing when things get messy. And Reese just crossed that line. For a player who spent the last year curating an image of toughness, swagger, and edge, quitting doesn't just dent the armor. It shatters it. You don't get to call yourself the people's champ, then disappear when the people still need you. You don't get to wear the villain crown proudly, then go radio silent when the arena turns hostile. That's not how this works. You want to be the villain? Then stand tall when the boos get louder. Angel Reese isn't just a player. She's a brand. Every Instagram post, every tunnel fit, every mic'd up moment, every post-game quote was part of a carefully designed image. And it worked. She became a household name before ever touching a WNBA court. But here's what no one tells you when you become a brand. When you quit, you don't just damage your stats. You damage your equity. The brand suffers. Because the same fans who propped you up, who called you unapologetic, real, game-changing, are now watching you fade away mid-season with no clear reason, no transparent explanation, no ownership. And worse, she left a team that needed her, that believed in her, that marketed around her. She was the Sky. When she walked, she didn't just walk away from a bad record. She walked away from every player who needed a leader, from every fan who still showed up despite the losing streak, from every little girl who wore her jersey and believed she was seeing the next face of the league. And don't think for a second that other players aren't watching this too. Because this isn't just about Angel. It's about standards, about what it means to play in this league, about earning your place through adversity, not just riding high when the spotlight's warm. Angel Reese could have rewritten the narrative. She could have shown the next generation what leadership really looks like. She could have used this messy season to evolve, to build, to rise. But instead, she left us on a cliffhanger, and not the good kind. Now let's talk about accountability. Because at some point, we've got to stop blaming the team, the coach, the media, the refs, the vibes. Yes, the Sky were dysfunctional. Yes, the offense was messy. Yes, the system didn't always showcase her best abilities. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Winners find ways to lead in chaos. They don't run. They speak up. They step up. They push through. Even if the team's not listening. Even if the system's broken. Even if every headline is unfair and every possession is a disaster. Leaders stay. Angel Reese? She dipped before the job was done. And that's what's so frustrating. Because we know she's capable of more. This is a player who fought her way from LSU to the pros, who clawed through every doubter, every media storm, every clapback, who thrived in the pressure cooker of March Madness, who talked her talk and walked her walk, all the way to the draft stage. And yet, here we are, watching her exit stage left before Act 2 even begins. Maybe she thought this was the power move. Maybe she believed this would send a message. Maybe this is some kind of calculated pause, a strategic reset. But to the rest of us, it looks like quitting. And worse, it looks like she let the critics win. Because let's be honest, they were waiting for this. Every talking head who said she wouldn't last in the league just got handed their favorite "I told you so" of the year. Every bitter ex-coach or armchair analyst now gets to call her soft, overrated all-talk. And that should have been her motivation. Instead, she handed them a mic. And while we're here, let's not ignore the double standard. Because if a male rookie, say a young NBA player with a massive college following and big endorsements, quit mid-season without a clear reason, the league would be on fire. There'd be think pieces, hot takes, interview specials, Twitter spaces, Reddit deep dives, everything. So why are we letting this moment slide? Why aren't we holding her to the same standard? If you want to be treated like a pro, then you've got to act like one. That means showing up even when it sucks. That means facing boos, cameras, and post-game questions after another loss and saying, "Yeah, we're struggling, but I'm still here." That's how you build respect. Not through brand deals. Not through TikTok edits. Not through energy tweets and cryptic captions. But through presence. Through consistency. And right now, Angel Reese is nowhere to be found. The silence is loud. And unless she speaks soon, the legacy she's worked so hard to build will start slipping out of her hands. Not because of lack of talent, but because of timing. So here's the question. Does she come back? Does she face the music? Does she own it? Or is this the last chapter of her rookie season? Not with a bang, but with a whimper? Because if this really is her exit, then it's one of the most baffling, frustrating, and disappointing rookie storylines we've seen in years. And for someone who said she wanted to change the game, she just walked away from it. Because the moment Angel Reese stepped away, the comparisons only got louder. You know exactly who we're talking about. Caitlin Clark. She's everywhere. Headlining ESPN. Breaking viewership records. Surviving hits. Taking fouls. Eating elbows. And still getting up. Still playing. Still showing up for a team that's barely staying afloat. Just like the Sky. And you better believe the internet is watching both of them like at a split-screen episode of WNBA Rivals. Who's built for it? Clark gets fouled hard. She doesn't flinch. Reese gets roasted on live TV. She goes silent. Clark gets benched. She claps for her teammates. Reese gets criticized. She exits the building. Is that fair? Maybe not. But perception doesn't wait for fairness to catch up. It's not just about Angel Reese resigning. It's about what that symbolizes in the eyes of fans, critics, and, let's be real, sponsors. Because you think Nike wants to put millions behind someone who disappears under pressure? You think Gatorade's going to cut the check when your face of toughness dips before the season ends? Come on. Brands want consistency, grit, comeback stories, not cautionary tales. And the sad part? This could have been her comeback season. Imagine the ARC rookie gets bullied by the media. Her team's in shambles. People write her off, but she digs in. She fights harder. She starts showing up not just in the box score, but in the huddle, in the locker room, in the press conferences. By the end of the season, they're not just talking about her rebounds anymore. They're talking about her evolution. That was on the table. Instead, we're stuck in this awkward limbo where the narrative is controlling her instead of the other way around. And that's the real tragedy of this whole situation. Angel Reese had a rare thing in sports: control of her own story. She wasn't drafted to a stacked team. She wasn't overshadowed by veterans. She was the spotlight, and she gave it up, not to an injury, not to a scandal, but to silence. And silence, when you're at the center of the conversation, is a statement in itself. Let's talk about the fans, because they're not just angry. They're hurt, and they have every right to be. You think they kept buying tickets to Sky games because they expected championship basketball? No, they bought in because of her. Because she made the season feel exciting. Because her presence made losing feel like something temporary, fixable. Now, that optimism's gone. And more than anything, they feel abandoned. You don't get to walk out mid-season and expect the crowd to wait around like everything's cool. This isn't college. This is professional sports. You walk, and there's a line of new rookies waiting to take your place, your minutes, your marketability, and your moment. Harsh truth. If this was any other rookie, someone without a viral March Madness moment, someone without the LSU glow-up, someone without the fan base she built online, they'd already be forgotten. But Angel Reese is still in the spotlight. Why? Because she meant something to this league, to this moment, to this shift in women's sports. Her walking away doesn't just affect her team. It drags down the whole movement she helped spark. You don't get to be that girl one day and then ghost the next. You set the bar. Now live up to it. Now here's the million-dollar question nobody wants to ask. What if she never comes back? What if this resignation is a soft exit? A slow fade? If that happens, everything she built, every double-double, every clapback, every viral moment, becomes a what-if footnote in WNBA history. She doesn't become a legend. She becomes a case study. Remember Angel Reese? Yeah, she was good, but she couldn't handle it. That's the danger. That's the waste. She was supposed to be more than a viral moment. She was supposed to be a force. But even the biggest storm cloud can't make waves if it drifts away before the lightning strikes. And look, it's not too late. Not yet. She can still flip this script. She can still take the mic, clear the air, re-enter the chat, and remind the world why she had it buzzing in the first place. But that window is closing. Fast. Every day, she stays silent. The narrative hardens. Every week, she stays gone. Her relevance slips. Because here's the truth. This league is moving with or without her. The playoffs are coming. The stories are shifting. The focus is already landing on MVP candidates, comeback arcs, and of course, Caitlin Clark's every breath. If Angel Reese wants to be part of the conversation again, she better say something. Do something. Play something. Because if she waits too long, it won't matter how many rebounds she used to grab. It won't matter how loud her fans scream on Twitter. It won't matter how unfair the criticism was. All that will matter is that she left. And in sports, that's the only stat that sticks. So now we're staring down the aftermath. No more speculation. No more, maybe she's resting. No more, maybe there's more going on behind the scenes. What we have now is silence, absence, and a burning question that refuses to leave. What happened to Angel Reese? Because remember, this wasn't just some rookie hoping to make the roster. This was the Angel Reese, the cultural phenomenon, the headline generator, the one who didn't just lean into the spotlight. She built a throne in it. And now, that throne's empty. Here's the part that really stings. We wanted her to win. Fans, media, even some of her harshest critics, they wanted the full circle story. The messy start, the redemption arc, the tears on a playoff court. They wanted to watch her figure it out, fight through it, and rise above. Because the league needs that. Women's basketball needs that. Someone loud, magnetic, defiant, but undeniably great. Someone who can sell jerseys and command interviews and back it up on the stat sheet. Angel Reese was that package. Until she wasn't. And now, the Chicago Sky, the team that made her their future, is left answering for a choice she made, while trying to salvage a season that's spiraling fast. That's not leadership. That's not legacy. That's just unfinished business. What happens next is on her. Because when she returns, and let's be clear, she has to return, it can't just be business as usual. It can't be tunnel walk energy and sassy tweets. It can't be vague captions about healing. It has to be real work, real apologies, real transparency, real grit. If she comes back and plays like her life depends on it, maybe she earns the trust again. But this time, no more cushion. Every rebound, every quote, every loss, people will scrutinize it. The leash is shorter now. The patience? Thin. And once you lose public goodwill in sports, good luck getting it back. Because as much as fans love a villain, they really love a fighter. Someone who stays in the ring when they're getting knocked down. And right now, Angel Reese left the ring mid-round. That's not iconic. That's not powerful. That's just disappointing. So here's the call-out, plain and simple. Angel, if you're reading this, don't let this be your story. Don't let your rookie season end as a footnote or a meme or a mystery. You're better than that. You've shown us that. But if you want a crown, you got to earn it. Every single night.